So the second thing is when they ask you to calculate the I'll just write it here, the outlier. I don't mind my handwriting. When they ask you to calculate the outlier, so what you do here, so firstly, an outlier is a number that is either too big or too small, right? Too big or too smaller than this number that you are given here, right? So it's basically a number that drags the mean, the average, right? For example, in the whole class, if everybody got like 60% and 50% for example, let's say maths, right? But then there's maybe one person that got 97%, and that 97% is going to drag the average to become more. So that is basically what an outlier is. Or maybe a person gets lower than that, the whole average is going to drop. So they are basically asking you for the numbers here that are outliers. So what you do to calculate the outlier is that you look at your lower quartile and your upper quartile. So firstly here, I first calculated my my lower quartile. It is 6 here. It is 7 plus 5 divided by 2, then it gave me 6. And then here 10 plus 15 divided by 2 gave me 12,5. And then now here, in order for you to calculate the outlier, you say the lower, the lower quartile is equal to Q1 minus 1,5 times the interquartile range, basically the interquartile range. So this 1,5 here is a constant, right? You always use it, it is always there, it's a constant. So basically here, what you're going to do is you're just going to substitute your values. Q, which is quartile 1, sorry, Q1 is your quartile, it is your quartile 1, which is 6, right? So you're just going to substitute your 6 minus the constant here 5 times the interquartile range. We know the interquartile range is the what do you call it, is the lower quartile minus the, it's quartile 1 minus quartile 3 basically. So here it's going to be 12,5 this here for the upper quartile minus the lower quartile here, 12,5 minus 6, and then you close your bracket. And then if you're going to put this in your calculator, it's going to give you okay, that's going to give you minus 3,75, right? So now you calculated your lower quartile, that's done. And then now you calculate for your upper quartile. Yeah, it is exactly the same. This is going to be what? It's going to be Q3 minus the constant 1,5 times the interquartile range, right? So our Q3, we know that our Q3 sorry, it is 12,5, right? So we're going to substitute our 12,5 here. 12,5 minus the constant that we are given times the interquartile range, which is what? Again 12,5 minus 6. And then if we punch this in the calculator, we will get 22,25, right? So now here the outlier part comes in. Now we have calculated this and this, right? So now they ask you calculate the outlier or list the outliers. So what you do, so like I said, an outlier is a number that basically kind of like stands out. The one just like more or less. So you look for the lower quartile, a number that is less than 3. If there's any number here that is less than -3 is an outlier. But as we can see here, that the lowest is what? It's 4, which means there's what? There's definitely no outlier here. And here you must look for a number that is more than 22,25. And we can see it ends by 18. It does not go by 22,5. So therefore there are no outliers, right? So if there was outliers, you would just list them, or maybe there was -3, but maybe here there was like maybe -2, then you just list what? your -2. And remember that when you list the numbers, you must always list them in a like a curly bracket or something, especially in terms of this, like maybe when they ask you to to calculate the 5 number summary, you always list it in a curly bracket because you are listing things.